When I started university, I thought I was entering the most independent period of my life. My family lived in another city, and for the first time, I was completely on my own. My financial situation was not good, so renting a private dorm or an apartment was not an option. I was placed in a state-run dormitory. The dorm was located slightly outside the campus, in a building that could be considered old. Its walls were thick, the corridors were long and narrow, and the windows were small. At first, I did not pay much attention to these details. Over time, I realized that the building had an atmosphere that made you feel uneasy. It felt as if the building itself was watching the people inside. When I first moved into the room, I was alone. This felt like a huge advantage. After classes, I could retreat to my room without talking to anyone, put on my headphones, and read for hours. The silence was comforting. At night, I would sometimes hear footsteps in the hallway, but that was normal. After all, it was a dormitory full of students. About a month later, the dorm administration informed me that another student would be placed in my room. I was not happy about it, but I had no right to object. The new student's name was Zainab. She arrived in the evening. She did not have many belongings. Just a suitcase and a backpack. When she walked into the room, the way she looked around immediately caught my attention. She was not really looking at the room. It felt like she was examining me. When our eyes met, she did not look away. She gave a brief greeting. Her voice was flat and emotionless. We did not talk on the first day. I studied at my desk while she sat on her bed. She did not use her phone. She did not read a book. She just sat there. Occasionally, her eyes moved around the room, slowly scanning everything. The more I noticed it, the more uncomfortable I felt, but I did not show it. I told myself that everyone is different. My sleep was interrupted on the very first night. It was around 3 in the morning. When I opened my eyes, I saw Zainab sitting upright on her bed. The lights were off, but the dim glow from the street light outside the window made her visible. She was not facing me, but it was obvious that she was awake. Her breathing was irregular. She stayed like that for a while, then lay back down. I could not fall asleep again until morning. In the morning, I asked her if she had been awake during the night. She said she had not woken up at all. She added that she slept very deeply. Her tone was calm. She was looking straight into my eyes. I felt that she was lying, but I had no proof. In the following days, my nighttime awakenings became more frequent. Every time I woke up, I found Zainab awake. Sometimes she was sitting on her bed, sometimes she was half upright. In the mornings, I always got the same answer. She insisted that she never woke up. What disturbed me the most was that this did not feel like a coincidence. It felt as if she was waiting for me to wake up. After a while, I started noticing small details. Pens I left on my desk were in different places. Pages in my notebook were shuffled. The zipper of my bag was open. At first, I blamed myself. I was sleep deprived and careless. But one morning, I saw that an app was open on my phone that I knew I had not used. I had left it charging overnight. I asked Zainab about it. She said she had not touched it. As she said this, she smiled. The smile was brief. Her eyes did not smile at all. That night, when I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror, I noticed a faint redness on my neck. It looked as if someone had pressed their fingers there. It did not hurt, but I could feel it. An indescribable fear settled in my chest. When I returned to the room, Zainab was sitting on her bed. She was watching me. Our eyes met. She smiled again. That smile made my skin crawl. I stopped turning off the lights at night. I locked the door. Still, I could not relax. One night, I felt the edge of my bed sink. It was very clear. The bed was old, but this was different. It felt like someone had sat down. I could not open my eyes. I was afraid of what I might see. After a while, the weight disappeared. In the morning, I looked at Zainab. She was awake. She was looking at me. She did not ask anything. It was as if everything was perfectly normal. That day, I left the dorm and stayed at a friend's place. When I returned the next evening, Zainab was waiting for me. She asked where I had been. There was no curiosity in her voice. It sounded like she was questioning me. That night, I placed my phone under my pillow and started a voice recording. I fell asleep. When I listened to the recording in the morning, my stomach turned. In the middle of the recording, there was a voice. It was not a whisper. It was clear. It was speaking slowly. It said my name. Then it started counting numbers. With each number, the breathing sounded closer. I knew I could not take it anymore. I went to the dorm administration. I told them everything. I asked for a room change. They told me there were no empty rooms. They asked me to endure it for a few more days. At that moment, I felt completely alone. That night, I left the lights on. I locked the door. Zainab was sitting on her bed. She was staring at me. I closed my eyes. After a while, the edge of my bed sank again. A hand touched my neck. This time, it was firmer. I could not breathe. The hand stayed there for a moment, then withdrew. I cried silently. In the morning, I packed my belongings. I left the dorm without waiting for permission. I called my mother. She came that day. She spoke to the administration. My room change was approved. I never spoke to Zainab again. I thought I would finally be able to sleep peacefully in my new room. But from the very first night, the same unease continued. The room was different. There was no roommate, yet sometimes, I felt a weight at the edge of my bed. I woke up with pain in my neck. A week later, I passed by my old room. The door was open. I looked inside. The room was empty. The beds had been removed. It looked like it had not been used for a long time. I asked one of the staff members about Zainab. They said she had left the dorm. When I asked why, they avoided the question. When I insisted, they told me this. Zainab had stayed in other dormitories before. Her roommates had left with similar complaints. No one had filed an official report. Everyone had left quietly. Months passed. I graduated. I left the dorm for good. I returned to my family's home. But at night, I still feel the same thing. The edge of my bed sinks. I wake up with marks on my neck. Last week, my mother noticed the marks. She asked me about them. I did not know what to say. Now I know this. I was not the only one who left that room. Zainab left with me, and she is still with me.